Good morning, Utah Valley University, and welcome to the first Talk with Tuminez this spring semester. I want to begin by saying thank you. Thank you to all of you who are joining us today. Thank you to the crew that set us up here in this beautiful bowling alley of UVU, where I am told for $55 per semester, you can bowl all you want. So take advantage of that. Thank you to the guests who are here today as well. We have a few guests that we're going to interview during the show. And thank you to all of you for your patience as we've had a lot of construction begin on campus this semester. As you know, we have the Scott C. Keller Business Building that's going up. We have the bridge across the freeway. We have the turfing of the baseball field. And we have the events at UCCU Center. And so thank you for your patience. We encourage you to use UTA whenever possible. I also want to thank everyone who attended the State of the University that took place in January. And for those of you who missed the State of the University, the address or the site in YouTube where you can watch it is on your screen right now. More housekeeping. I'd like to remind everybody to please show up at our athletic games. This Thursday, we have men's basketball against CSU Bakersfield at 7 p.m. If you need tickets, you can ask me directly for them and we'll give you tickets. On the screen, you can see our basketball player, Isaiah White, who's been described by Coach Mark Madsen as a joy to be with. Isaiah is team captain and an excellent student, and he's been known this summer to show up at the gym at 5 a.m. to do practice. I think that's inspiring for all of us. Isaiah is second in the WAC for rebounds this season. He's had 4 games with 20 points plus. And he's also ranked 7th for the highest scoring in the WAC this season. So please show up to Basketball Thursday. And starting February 28th, we have a student production called Noises Off, written by the English playwright Michael Frayn. If you haven't been to the Norda Center yet, or if you've been to the Norda a few times, please come again, support our students, and support the arts. I also want to remind everyone of commencement coming up on April 30. Our commencement speaker will be Gail Miller, who is the chairperson of the Larry H. Miller Companies. Gail will also receive an honorary doctorate, and together with her, 2 other people will receive honorary doctorates from UVU. These are our friends Dan Campbell, who has been chairman of the Board of Regents of Utah, and Dan is also the managing partner for the SNet Group. He will receive an honorary doctorate in letters, in humane letters. And then on the other side of Gail there, we have our friend Dave Ulrich, who is the founding partner of RBL Group, a great friend of UVU, and also a professor at the Ross School of Business in Michigan. I want to mention that Gail Miller, our commencement speaker, is also the author of this wonderful book, Courage to Be You. I would encourage all of you who are watching to read this book. It is quiet and authentic and shows the confidence and evolution of a great leader in the state of Utah. In addition, I want to announce that coming up is in our presidential lecture series, and I don't know if the date is on the slide that you are seeing, but we will have Greg Miller, this is March 5 at 11:30 a.m., the presidential lecture this spring term. Our speaker will be Greg Miller, who is the former CEO of the Larry H. Miller group of companies and is currently on their board. I want to say that Greg is also very interesting because he has a museum, a Land Cruiser museum, which I have visited. So if you want to learn about adventure and memories and different cars from different eras, from different parts of the world, that they're all Land Cruisers, this is a great place to visit. He's going to be a great speaker for us, and I encourage all of you to attend. Let me now say a few words about, so that ends our housekeeping for this part of the program. I want to talk a little bit about digital transformation, which you know is a theme of my presidency. And I'm thrilled to announce, and you may already know, that we have hired a new member of my cabinet, a new Vice President for Digital Transformation. That's Dr. Kelly Flanagan, who's coming to us from BYU, and Kelly is also a tenured professor of computer science. As we use Canvas, Civitas, and other digital tools to help us, let's remember that these tools are here to help us do what we do better, faster, and more effectively every single day. So it is my honor to introduce Dr. Kelly Flanagan to the campus today. Kelly, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you feel about, being the newest Wolverine, so to speak.
Well, thank you. It's nice to be with you today. I'm really excited about what we might accomplish here. I have degrees in electrical engineering. I'm a professor of computer science. I love technical things, but I really want to help students be successful, to thrive. And I think you hit the nail on the head, I think, with the idea that digital transformation is really about using technology to make the place more efficient so that the faculty and the students can do what they do best, which is learn and to teach and to inspire people to make progress in life. So that's why I'm here, because I really felt that from you and from the cabinet and from all those that I met on campus, that that's what you're about. So I'm really excited to be here.
What would you tell people who may be getting nervous about this digital transformation?
Well, I think any change is scary, right, for some people. I noticed this morning that we should fix the onboarding process a little bit, maybe, right? So there's things to be fixed. But I think that I'm a very collaborative type of a person. I like to communicate and talk through things with people. So I think they shouldn't be worried. They should look forward to it with enthusiasm and excitement about what we might do for the students and the faculty. So I think that don't be scared, be excited.
All right, so let's be excited about digital transformation. I also want to ask you, is the green tie new or old?
The green tie's new, but I have a few, and
okay.
And green. My wife and I were noticing today that there's lots of green, so we're happy to be green.
We're gonna be giving you more green swag as time goes on. Really fast, quick questions. This is choose one or the other.
All right.
Green or blue?
Green.
Vanilla or chocolate?
Chocolate.
J-Dogs or Wendy's?
Wendy's.
All right, we like you already,
okay.
Kelly. So we want to welcome again, please join me in welcoming Dr. Kelly Flanagan. We are so grateful that you're here. We look forward to working with you on amazing things that will make life easier for all of us and that will help our students succeed. Thank you so much,
Great.
Kelly.
Glad to be with you. Thank you.
Thank you. I also want to talk a little bit about student and faculty successes here at UVU. You'll see on this slide a picture of Hannah Bruce, who was the team captain of our women's soccer team. Hannah just graduated in psychology and is currently playing for a professional soccer team in Puerto Rico called the Puerto Rico Sol, based in Mayagüez. But I'm thrilled to say that Hannah is not just excelling in soccer, but she has just been accepted for the master's program in clinical and therapeutic neuroscience at Oxford University. She will do that, and then she will start law school after that, because she's also been accepted to the University of Utah Law School. And Hannah also was a finalist for the Rhodes Scholarship this year. I can't say enough about how impressed I am with students like this who manage and juggle so many things in their lives and show us the possibilities that they're able to accomplish. And on the other side of the slide, you see my current presidential intern, Lacey Meyer, who has been accepted to Queen's University in Belfast in Northern Ireland, and she will be studying, if I can remember the degree properly, I believe it is conflict, transformation, and social justice. So these are only two examples. There are many others, but I have as a guest with me today one of our students, Jordan Clausen. Welcome, Jordan.
Thank you.
Jordan is a biology major, and she just published a paper together with Professor Ruhul Kudus, a professor of microbiology and molecular biology at UVU. And I would add that Professor Kudus is also a poet, because when I was first starting this job, he gave me a book of his poetry. Now, don't be afraid or intimidated, but I'm going to read you the title of their research paper, which of course I don't understand. The Association of Angiotensin Converting Enzyme Insertion, 28 BP deletion polymorphisms, and proliferative prostatic diseases among Lebanese men. The only words that I understood were among Lebanese men, but I'm not going to let that bother me. So, Jordan, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from and where you grew up.
So I actually grew up in Lehi, Utah, still live there today, and I am married and I have a couple baby girls, so a little bit about me.
And you're a straight A student?
I wish, not quite straight A's, but close enough, I hope.
Okay. Now, tell us a little bit. I read the title of the research paper, but what was that really about? I assume prostate cancer, maybe?
Yeah, so what we were looking at was actually benign prostatic hyperplasia and prostate cancer, and how this gene polymorphism, the insertion deletion in the angiotensin converting enzyme gene, how that is associated, or if it's at all associated with BPH or prostate cancer.
And BPH are markers? Are those
BPH, benign prostatic hyperplasia, sorry.
That just goes to show how little I know about this field, but that's okay. You have been accepted to a couple of medical schools. What made you interested in medicine as a career?
So I actually, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer when I was very young, and went to remission, then was diagnosed again when I was about 18, 19 years old. And so that's kind of been a big theme in my life, and really why I was inspired to pursue medicine.
That's wonderful. How has UVU helped you in your education, especially, I learned just now, I didn't know this, that you're a mom also with a couple of kids. With the juggling, how has UVU been helpful to you with all these aspects of your life?
UVU has been the absolute best place for me to be as a student parent, because I've had so much support from my professors, and not only that, like on-site professors, but also having online classes and being able to do distance learning classes at other campuses has been absolutely amazing. But I would say the professors here, it's just been, they've been so great and understanding and willing to work with me and work around my hectic schedule as a mother. And so really the support from my professors has just been absolutely amazing. And especially Dr. Kudis, being able to do research like this as an undergraduate student has been amazing. And to be able to actually publish a paper as an undergraduate student doing this kind of research is just, I mean, I don't think I would get that kind of opportunity somewhere else.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that, Jordan. I think as I listen to you, I get the sense of the seriousness with which you tackle life and studies and family, but at the same time, I'm also hearing that without support from faculty and others here at UVU, this would have been a lot harder to do. You could still probably do it, but it would be harder.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you have to have a support system, especially if you're a parent trying to do all this. So support is huge. UVU has been amazing for that.
Yeah, so congratulations to you. Thank you for sharing your story and journey a little bit with us today. And this is a really good point for me to segue from student successes to some of our faculty successes that I want to talk about. Thank you, Jordan. All the best as you make your decision on medical school and as you pursue a field that will allow you to help and serve so many people and make a difference in this world. We're proud of you. Very proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. So I want to talk a little bit about some of the amazing things happening with faculty, our stellar faculty and their work with students. We have today over 3.6 million in grants for science, technology, engineering, and math. And about 3 million of this is with the College of Science, 1 million for biology, 1 million for the physical sciences, and another 1 million for NOICE fellowships, NOICE, which is basically funding for those students who are learning STEM in order to become teachers themselves for high school. And then we have 600,000 in the College of Engineering and Technology for support for students in computer science and engineering. I also want to mention that our professor, Professor Elaine Engelhardt, is part of a consortium of professors from several universities who have received $600,000 in grant funding from the NSF, National Science Foundation, in order to teach ethics to STEM students. So congratulations to Professor Engelhardt. In addition, I would like to announce, and some of you may have heard this already, that our Center for Constitutional Studies has received grants totaling about $424,000. The bulk of it from the National Endowment for the Humanities, where only 15% of grant proposals get funded. And then there were some matching grants and grants from a donor. And this is to support the Quill project, which is a digital modeling of state constitutions in the United States. What were the processes that happened? What were the documents? What were the debates? And it's to help us understand our own history and the genesis of these critical documents that affect greatly our political, social, and economic lives. So congratulations to the Center for Constitutional Studies and its leaders, Professor Rod Smith and Scott Paul, and our amazing students who work with their mentors here and then also at Oxford University with Professor Nicholas Cole. I now want to introduce a special guest, our very own Professor Daniel Fairbanks, professor and author and artist. And if you go to Salt Lake City, you may notice a new statue of Mr. Vasilios Priskos, who is one of the big players in helping Salt Lake City preserve its architectural gems. The sculptor for this piece of art is Professor Dan Fairbanks. So Dan, I'll just ask you a few questions.
Sure.
First of all, tell us a little bit about the statue.
Well, this statue is it's an 8-foot monument in bronze of Vasilios Priskos, who was a very prominent person in Salt Lake City and developing Main Street. And this honors his legacy.
How were you commissioned to do this?
The Downtown Alliance of Salt Lake City commissioned me, and it was mostly led by Stephen Price, who is the CEO of a real estate company, and his family, the Price family, is one of the most generous families as a patron of the arts in the state of Utah. And my family has had a connection with the Price family dating back, 30 to 40 years.
Let's talk a little bit about this family connection. I understand that with this statue, there will be 4 generations of Fairbanks artists and creators having worked in downtown Salt Lake City. Could you talk a little bit about that?
That's right. This statue is my first monument there. My father and 2 of his brothers did the Eagle Gate Monument in Salt Lake City. My grandfather, Avard Fairbanks, was very well known and did quite a number of monuments that are in the downtown area in Salt Lake, as well as throughout the nation and throughout the world. And then my great-grandfather was a painter, and his paintings are in buildings all over in Salt Lake City, dating back to the 1890s. So we have 4 generations of Fairbanks artists with artwork in Salt Lake City and in fact throughout the state.
This is truly amazing. One last question. Was there a little bit of pressure on you growing up as a Fairbanks?
Sort of. I grew up in doing art in studios with my father, my grandfather, uncles. It was, I wouldn't call it pressure. I would say that it was just a very wonderful environment to grow up in. And all of them were scientists as well. So,
yes.
So there was this nice connection of art and science together.
I know that Dan is sort of a rock musician, author of books on genetics, a sculptor, a true Renaissance man. Thank you so much. You inspire us to do our best. And I think for UVU, every time you see Basilius Priscus's monument in Salt Lake City, please know that Wolverine created that. Thank you so much, and we're so honored that you're part of this community.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Now, I think as a follow-up to State of the University, where I announced that we would soon have a couple of new scholarships. For those of you who follow our students, we know that financing is the single most important obstacle for our students to complete. And so we're trying to address that with more scholarships for students so that they can pay their tuition and complete their studies. So I have here today Andrew Stone, and Andrew, I will forget your title, your AVP for Enrollment Management.
Yep.
It's not quite as bureaucratic as it sounds.
No.
It's a very inspiring role,
Yes.
enrollment management, because a lot of that is, getting our students in, making sure they're supported and that they finish. So there are two scholarships that are really important to announce today. The first one is Green Light. So Andrew, would you just talk about that, please?
Yeah, this is it's an exciting opportunity for UVU to be able to pitch these officially. Green Light is a scholarship that's been in the works for a couple of months. Pretty large group of people helping us get this off the ground. But ultimately what this will help students who have financial need to be able to access UVU and know that their first 2 years will be covered. They won't have to worry about paying tuition and fees their first 2 years if they qualify. And so we can now go out into the community. The word can be out to those in the community who are saying, I'd like to go to school, but I don't think I can afford it. And they can know they need to start by completing the FAFSA, making sure that they get that done. And then for those who qualify, we will be covering the rest of their tuition above the FAFSA.
And FAFSA is the financial aid form that everybody has to fill out. So if they get a Pell Grant, but they still need $1,000 to fill the gap, they can get it through the scholarship.
Yep, the gap would be covered by UVU.
Okay, excellent. So this is more for the first and second year students.
Yes.
The second scholarship is called REACH, and this is for students more in their third and fourth years. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Can you tell us about it?
So this will be good. Will help students all the way through 1 through 4. And again, they need to start with their FAFSA, complete that, and for those who qualify, what we're telling them is when you hit certain milestones, we will award you will get certain different dollar amounts. So for the first year, if you finish your math and English, which we know is a big thing that students need to do for their completion, we'll give you $1,000 at the start of your second year. And then if you finish your associates in your first 2 years, we'll give you $1,000 at the start of your third year. And then for those students who complete their graduation plan and their Wolverine track and follow that, when they get to the end of their close to graduation at beginning of year 4, we will cover their last semester tuition totally.
So the last semester would be totally free. All right, so for those of you who may have children, cousins, neighbors who are juniors and seniors at UVU, and if there are any students listening who are juniors and seniors, I think this is a really important scholarship.
Yes.
And the last semester, when you're ready to graduate, you can have your tuition free for that semester.
Yep.
Thank you, Andrew. Another really important initiative from the Office of Student Affairs is CARE, Coordinated Access to Resources in Education. And this is to address housing crisis, mental health, food insecurity, these things that sometimes totally derail a student from their path to success. And you may have seen last fall that there were CARE stations all over campus. There were 11 of those where you could get information about this initiative. But here to speak with us today on this initiative is Alexis Palmer, our Dean of Students. So Alexis, over to you.
Hi, thank you. So the CARE initiative, if any of you are interested in President Tuminez, I know you've talked about this quite a bit as well, the way you can support it is by going to uvu.edu/student care. And that gives you a list of all organizations, both here at UVU as well as in the community that we've partnered with to help address basic need insecurities for students. So everything from our on-campus food pantry and food vouchers and the Center for Social Impact to emergency funding for students who are facing basic needs insecurities. Students can apply for up to $500. These are donated funds. And we have a scholarship application process, and you can email me for that information or go to the Women's Success Center and they can help you with that. We are working very closely with United Way of Utah County in 2-in-1, where if a student reaches out to Utah County and there's resources here for them as well, they'll connect the university and the student together. So that's been a good partnership.
Thank you, Alexis. I think that this initiative really reflects our first core value, which is exceptional care, that we go a little bit out of our way because we want everyone who comes to the doors of UVU to have the best chances for success. Yes, thank you so much. And again, if you are watching this, you'll see the website for additional information. Please do not hesitate to go there, get the information, and then seek help, seek assistance as you need it. We have another guest here, Dashik Aquenya, and Dashik, you'll have to forgive me for forgetting your title. Can you just tell us your title?
Yes, I'm Director of Campus Recreation and Wellness.
Dashik is Director of Campus Recreation and Wellness. So if you see a picture on your screen right now, there's one of my favorite quotes. Whenever I feel the need to exercise, I lie down until it goes away. But that's me lying down at the climbing wall because I'm so bad at it. And after I was only a fourth of the way through, I was pretty much dead. I pretty much have no upper body strength, let's just say that. But then there's this other quote that, you know, we do not stop exercising because we grow old. We grow old because we stop exercising. And that's, I think, even more important than the first quote. And it's really the concept of wellness. Wellness. What we need to do as staff, faculty, students, administrators is we have to be well, physically and emotionally. Because if we are not well, we can't do the great things that we need to do here at UVU. And so Dashik, will you speak to us a little bit about the resources? We have an offer here at this university to help all of us be well.
Definitely, President. Thanks for having me. I can definitely speak to that. First and foremost, I'd just like to say it's amazing to think that this April we're coming up on our 6th-year anniversary since the ribbon cutting and grand opening of this marvelous...
For this building.
Yeah, for this building, the Student Life for Wellness Center. And then also, I can also attest to that and speak to that this building has continued and continues to serve its purpose in providing exceptional care, as well as helping our students find success inside and outside the classroom. We have 175,000 square foot space filled with state-of-the-art fitness, cardio, and strength training equipment. We also have 1/8 of a mile of a track in our recreation center.
I use that one a lot.
Yes, I've seen you up there, so thanks for utilizing that too as well. And then we have 3 basketball courts as well as a multi-purpose court where we offer our engaged learning when it comes to our recreation, nationally recognized intramural sports programming that we offer in there too as well as leagues. We have 5 fitness and cardio fitness rooms that we offer a variety of fitness classes in there too as well. And then we have our beautiful climbing wall, which is the project climbing wall, which has over 50 routes that students can use to navigate the way all the way to the top, and it oversees beautiful Mount Timpanogos too as well in the backdrop. So we have a lot to offer. And down here we have our beautiful 6-lane bowling alley that we're currently filling in. We have adjacent here our gaming center as well that students can utilize too for free. And then across from us, we have our beautiful demonstration kitchen where we offer healthy cooking classes for our students to engage in. And then we also have our reflection center too as well, where we have a meditation room, a prayer room, as well as a religious library too as well that students can engage in. We have something to offer for students here. We want students to utilize a lot of these services. We want students to come to UVU and build a sense of community and understand that this is a place that they can call home. We want students to come as they are. We want students to know that we have something to offer for them too as well through the quality, engaging recreational services and programming that we have to offer for them too as well. We know as students are coming to UVU, President, they're going to receive a great academic experience.
Yes.
Now we want to take that opportunity too as well to complement that with a fun, engaging, as well as educational, recreational experience too as well through the services and
Okay, if the Sheikh hasn't persuaded you yet to use the Student Life and Wellness Center, you must be really hard-hearted. I'm laughing because I'm seeing Wendy's out there too. So we have our healthy cooking, but you can also get Wendy's because we like joy once in a while. You need a little junk food to feel joyful. But really, these facilities are first class. They're amazing. I've used the climbing wall. I've gone bowling here. And also there's a really cool machine upstairs where you could stand on it and it scans your body and it will tell you your body mass index. It knows a lot of things about you.
That's a Fit
so that
3D.
kind of disturbed me a little bit. But so joy, exercise, wellness, That's something that we have here. Please take advantage of it.
Yes, President.
Thank
I'd
you.
also like to present you the official first ever presidential
Thank
bowling
you.
ball.
Seriously.
Has your name on it engraved
All right.
in it too as well.
When
so
I'm
thank
mad
you.
in cabinet meetings, I'm not going to throw a tantrum. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
What a great ball to have. Thank you, Andrew. I'll use it to do my upper body strength
There
that
you
I said
go.
I don't have. Okay, thank you, Dashik. How wonderful. Thank you.
Definitely.
We also have Jacob Atkin. Jacob, tell us your title as well, because I don't want to get it wrong, who will talk to us about the upcoming renovation of our Sorensen Student Center. There will be a lot of things. It will take 2 years to complete, but it will be amazing when done. So over to you, Jacob. Tell us first your title, then talk about the renovations, and I'll move the slides.
Okay. So I'm the Associate Vice President for Finance, and starting in June, mid to late June, you're going to see the remodel start of the Sorensen Student Center. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to expand, as you can see on the screen, 30 feet into the courtyard. This is going to allow us to increase the total seating in the food court by over 200 seats. These seats are going to be premium, varied seating, booths, intimate tables, power connections at many of the seats, as well as expand the total number of offerings that we have in the food court. In addition to the food court, we'll also be doing a remodel of the bookstore. You may have heard by now that we're no longer going to be carrying books, textbooks in the bookstore. We're going to convert all of that space into retail space. We're also going to bring Starbucks, a full-service Starbucks, into the bookstore as well.
All right.
And then finally, the last thing I'd like to highlight is the expansion of health services. So we're going to approximately double the total square footage that we have committed to health services, which should allow us to significantly increase the services we can provide to our students. So we want to feed their bodies and help them care for their minds, and help them address all of their extra needs that they have while they're here on campus.
Thank you very much, Jacob. So from what you have all heard today from Andrew Stone, Alexis Palmer, Dashika Quenya, and Jacob Atkin, you can see all of the services, and most of this is student affairs, but facilities also. This is all part of what we're trying to build better, do better, offer better, so that our students can succeed. So thank you so much to all of you for highlighting some of the services offered by UVU.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. It is legislative season, as you all know. If you read the papers, there are various House bills and Senate bills that are under consideration. And this is a really important time for us as a public university to make our case together with the Board of Regents in the Utah System Utah System of Higher Education for the resources that we need. And I just want to highlight our budget priorities that I have presented to the legislature and others of my colleagues. Vice President Cameron Martin, who is in charge of university relations, his colleagues Stephen White and Steve Anderson have been very helpful. But you see on the screen what our asks are of the legislature, our asks in new funding. Of course, for compensation and benefit increases, you can see that there. Very important to us is growth funding. In the past semester, our enrollment has grown another 4.5%. And I always like to say that enrollment growth without resources is just like creating a headless giant. And so if the Utah system's ask of $3.9 million for growth funding is granted, UVU will get $2.3 million in new funds. And that will help us hire the staff that we need to support enrollment growth. Performance funding is another big category of funding, and that has to do with metrics that have been pre-decided, and every college and university in the Utah System of Higher Education has to show that we are making progress in all these metrics in order to get our prorated share of funding. So the overall ask from the system in new funding is $34.9 million, of which $5.4 million will go to UVU if we get fully funded. I also want to say that we need to keep track as a community of Senate Bill 111, which has been sponsored by Senator Ann Milner. And this bill has to do with the changing governance in higher education in the state of Utah. What it essentially proposes is that the governance body of the Utah system of higher education, the Board of Regents, that be merged with the governance body of the technical colleges. And so there will be one body overseeing technical colleges, community colleges, and full-fledged universities. And I think at the moment the membership is proposed as 6 from the old Board of Regents, 6 from the Board of Trustees of the technical colleges, 4 members that the governor will select from at large, and then 2 students, 1 a university student and 1 technical college student. So I think for UVU, we welcome this change in governance, but our ask is that it not impose onerous reporting requirements, and that the system helps us to accomplish what we need to do, which is to make higher education more seamless for students in Utah, whether they pick a technical education, community college, or university education. I also want to highlight quickly the great partnership that we have with Mountain Land Technical College, also known as MTech. We have to date articulated 9 programs from MTech into UVU. That means that students in MTech can do their 900 hours in something and have that articulate into 30 academic credits at UVU. And that includes programs, degree programs like web development, IT, digital media, nursing, culinary arts, and a host of other programs. We are also working on 7 more articulations, and the approach taken to these programs is that they are student-centered, they are faculty-driven, because the faculty must drive how these programs translate into academic credits, and they are staff-supported. So I want to thank faculty, administrators, staff, and students who have helped us make this happen. And I want to thank I call him my partner in crime, President Clay Christensen, who is the president of MTech. I have a few reminders for us, and these are good reminders. From February 24 to March 6, we will launch the Great Colleges to Work For survey. I believe that we do this every other year. Your participation is extremely important because in administration and in leadership, we need to know how you feel, where you are, both your constructive feedback and your critical feedback. So please participate in the Great Colleges to Work For survey. I think it's going to run over almost 2 weeks, and that should be enough time for all of us to be able to participate in this. For happy news, it's leap year, and to celebrate leap year, I think this is February 28th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. We will have food trucks at the Student Life Plaza here at UVU. I have never yet experienced food trucks. They've been here, I think, a couple times since I've been president. This will be my first time. I'm really excited. I think you will get an announcement from HR on what to get, when and where to get vouchers for the food trucks on February 28th. So enjoy this, and let's celebrate leap year. I also want to announce that on March 18, Wednesday, we will be hosting on campus a conference and executive education program for administrative professionals. The theme for this is Finding Beauty in the Chaos. And yeah, it does remind me of my life sometimes. I do have to find beauty and some order in the chaos that is my life. But if I were an administrative professional, I can only imagine how much more intense that chaos can be. There is a very interesting keynote speaker, Ilens Dort of the John Maxwell Group. So some of you may know the name John Maxwell because if you go to any bookstore and look at the leadership section, you'll see a million books by John Maxwell and with that imprint on it. So that is for your information. And then another really important piece of information on May 12 to 14. As you know, UVU invests in our staff. Whether you are full-time or part-time, you can participate in Summer University, May 12 to 14, and that will be 3 days where we can all learn, where we can all pick something, learn something that will feed our spirits, where we can make new connections with people on this campus so that we will have better teamwork, better collaboration, and more effective work in the coming years. So I encourage all of our staff to participate in Summer University. This is my second to last slide here. I recently was able to attend the last wrestling match on our home turf. And we won this match against Northern Colorado University, and we celebrated 4 seniors. And as you know, I'm a little bit crazy about wrestling, and such a hard sport. But as I was thinking about this, our students celebrating those who are graduating, thinking of what they do also on the mat, to be fearless, to be strong, to be fast. I thought of this quote from the author Nassim Nicholas Taleb, who wrote The Black Swan. And this is actually about Stoics and Stoic philosophy, but I substituted Wolverine for Stoic. I just want to read this to you. A Wolverine is someone who transforms fear into prudence, pain into transformation, mistakes into initiation, and desire into undertaking. This is worth thinking about in our day-to-day, our week-to-week, month-to-month, and year-to-year here at UVU. I want to thank all of you for participating today. And a quick reminder to attend the last talk with Tuminez, which is on April 23 in the Grand Ballroom. And this is really important because I will be announcing our PBA outcomes. We will know by then how much new funding the legislature is giving us. And so this is important for us to discuss the resources that we are getting and what's the rationale behind allocating these resources. So I encourage all of you to attend. We have time for question and answer, and is that Katie Zabriskie, my interim chief of staff, will read some of these questions. I'll try to answer them as best as I can. So over to you, Katie.
Okay, so our first question is from Chris Meek. He asks, what is the status of faculty and staff dependents that were married and then have divorced to qualify for tuition waiver?
So the question, if I may repeat that, what is the status of
faculty and staff dependents that were married and then have divorced to qualify for a tuition waiver?
Okay. You probably saw that I got a cheat sheet here because sometimes a president needs this. So important policy if they're married and then are single again. So this policy has entered stage 2. As you know, we have a pretty transparent and predictable policy process at UVU. So it has entered stage 2 and removes the language that did not allow divorced dependent children under age 26 to receive a dependent tuition waiver. My own daughter, who's 23, if she comes to school here, she gets, she's under my insurance, she can get a dependent tuition waiver. So if they're single again, that's now the language that is there in the policy. It is still a draft. It will be going to Faculty Senate and PACE, our professional Association of Campus Employees. It's going to PACE and Faculty Senate today. Employees can review the policy in the policy pipeline on the policy office website. So one of my observations at UVU is actually how transparent we are about these things. If you want to dig into the budgeting process, all of the PBA documents are on our website. It's the same with this policy. If you have a keen interest in this, please look at the current wording on the website, and if you have any suggestions on that, you can go and talk to the people who are in charge of drafting that language for that policy. Eventually, it's the President's Council that will approve the final policy after it has passed all of the stages of review and edits. So I hope that that's a satisfactory answer, and if it isn't, please let me or Katie Zabriskie know, and we will try to get you more details.
Okay. Our next question comes from David Frame. He's asking, are there any plans for a staff or faculty clinic on site to promote wellness?
So we have Student Life and Wellness Center, which is for the students. The question is whether there is a place for students and faculty. Alexis, do you want to come back and answer that? I am a staff member as president, and I certainly use everything here I haven't used, well, when I was new, I used the clinic for something, I forgot what. I think it's because I couldn't walk. so I do use it. So if the question is about a dedicated facility, maybe talk about how everybody can use this now.
Sure.
And whether we have any plans for a dedicated facility.
So the Student Life and Wellness Center is actually open to everyone at campus. I pay $10 a month to use the Student Life and Wellness Center for exercise, for the cycling classes, other things that you can do. They even have trainers that you can use. So those services are available for faculty and staff. In terms of Student Health Center, which I'm guessing that this question is related to, we do not directly see employees because we are partly funded through student fees, and to be able to keep our costs low and the capacity of what we have, we can only see students right now. The scope of my role and the scope of the student health services is just for students.
Okay.
We have benefits programs, we have EAP and other things for our staff. And if that's something that staff want, they probably would need to talk to PACE in some other areas.
Could you define EAP?
I could, if I remember what it stands for. It's part of our benefits. If you go to uvu.edu and go to My UVU, you can go to the benefits under Human Resources, the page within My UVU, link on to the benefits page, and it will give you all the information about EAP, Employee Assistance Program. It just
And
came
that's
to
for
me.
counseling, things
You
like
can,
counseling.
they even have
or-
help with attorneys even.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I've seen people use it for whether they're going through a divorce and need an attorney on that side. There's a lot of different options that EAP has.
Yeah, thank you, Alexis.
Yes, you're welcome.
So again, just to underline that this facility is for staff and faculty to use as well, the Student Life and Wellness Center. And then I think in terms of wellness, participating in joy creating events around campus, whether that's a jazz concert or other things. And then looking at the benefits website, let me emphasize that again, looking at the benefits in myuvu.edu so that we use everything that is already available to us. But I think at the moment there are no plans to build a separate building that is purely dedicated to faculty and staff. I have used trainers here as well, and you pay, it's affordable, you pay for it, but all these services are here. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Katie, next question.
Our next question that came in was actually seconded and thirded by a couple of people on here. In the food court, could you please bring in more healthy plant-based food offerings?
Okay.
Because this would better support students and employee wellness.
Okay, yeah, so I know. I mean, I sometimes I look in there myself. We've got Wendy's, J-Dogs, and I don't know if all of this is Panda Express. They're kind of fun. But Jacob Atkin, we're bringing him back. Jacob, please talk to us about more plant-based options. We do have gurus in the classroom building, but do we have any plans to add maybe one more for those who are vegetarian, vegan, and those who are not like me? Sorry.
So first, as we look at our current offerings, we replaced Far's Fresh with Eats, and in that facility we have a salad bar, we have a sandwich bar every single day, along with 2 made-from-scratch soups, as well as an entree of the day. So today it's flank steak and steamed vegetables. So that's a nice, convenient option for those that are looking for something today. As I mentioned earlier, when we complete this remodel in 2 years, we'll add space for potentially 3 new vendors on campus. And so if you have recommendations or suggestions for what you'd like to see on campus, please send those to me so that we can consider that as we look to bring new vendors to campus.
What I really like about what Jacob said just now is he said, if you have any ideas or suggestions, what I often like to say at these universities is that as we see problems, what are our solutions? And so take advantage of this offer to suggest something. I think with Eats and Gurus, that's what we have now. But as Jacob said, with 3 new vendors who will be invited as we enlarge the space, it would be a wonderful idea to add maybe another, at least 1 more, if not more. So please, those of you who are interested in this, I would encourage you to pool your thinking together and make a suggestion to Jacob.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jacob.
Okay. Our next question that came in was, will UVU ever consider not doing spring break over St. Patrick's Day? The green-centric holiday could be a great campus celebration.
Wow, I hadn't thought about that. Okay, that's a really great suggestion. I can't say yes or no. I love green, right? We all love green. So there have been discussions about spring break. I think sometimes, there are considerations like, does the rest of the Provo School District, for example, also have a break because we have parents who work here. And then there's the WAC games where often we can't, the WAC championships are always in Vegas, and we can never get enough Wolverine fans out there because we are in session. So I guess my answer to that is we will take that into consideration. St. Patrick's. When is St. Patrick's? Does anybody know? Nobody knows. Are there no Irish around here? All right, but thank you for the question. Great holiday. I lived for 13 years in New York City, and St. Patrick's was always an awesome holiday. So we'll think about that because that's a natural Wolverine color day, it seems to me.
Okay. And we have one final question. The question was, will you be hiking Mount Timpanogos this year with the students?
I am running a half marathon this year on June 6th. Fingers crossed. The Provo half marathon is actually a marathon, but in this job I don't get enough training time. I have run a full marathon in 4 halves. This will be my 5th half marathon. So that is my main goal. And I don't know, I'm waiting for one of those tow ropes to be built up to Timpanogos. But it may happen. My husband's a climber. It may happen. I understand it's gorgeous in the springtime with wildflowers, wild goats, and amazing things. So I'll put that on my list for consideration. But maybe, the answer is maybe. So as we conclude today's talk with Tuminez, again, I want to thank the crew. I want to thank Office of Student Affairs. I want to thank all of our guests. Again, a special welcome to Dr. Kelly Flanagan, our new VP for Digital Transformation. I am so honored to be on this campus. 18 months into the job, I still love all of you guys. Thank you for all you do, because everything here depends on every one of us. Thank you, and see you in April at the last talk with Tuminez for spring. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.